All right, so welcome to the final episode of 2020 of Is This Adulthood? And what better way to end off this year and look forward to next year than to, combine the dynamic duo, the iconic pair, Ryan Durgee and Katie Jones.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, Ryan, on the last episode of the year. That's crazy. How many have we done? Or how many have you done?
This year?
Yeah.
I'm not sure this year, but I know that overall, I think we've done more than 55 episodes in the
all together.
In the 2-ish years that we've been doing it. Almost 2 years since we launched. So that's exciting. And, we have more than 5,000 streams. We have people listening from around the world, which is really awesome. And it's all due in part to
my success.
of us just being ourselves and sharing our journeys. And I do miss you. I love having guests on, and I love letting other people get to share their stories. That's been awesome. But riding solo without you, it's been tough sometimes because I need my partner in crime.
Well, we all have to grow up eventually, right, Ryan? So it's actually so nice to do this with you. And for any of the viewers, listeners, we weren't able to do video this morning because my Wi-Fi didn't seem to want to make that happen. So if anyone knows me, I'm very happy at the moment because Ryan forces me to go on camera and I hate it.
Yeah, so Katie Jones was more than happy to jump on the opportunity to go to audio only. She's like, I guess it's my Wi-Fi. Maybe we should try it without video. But that's okay. She said she'd be even more herself on just audio, so that's all I could ever ask for.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so Christmas just happened, and we're going to be turning into the new year in a couple of days. How has your 2020 been?
It's been interesting. There's been a lot of firsts. I went into my first real career salary full-time job and then got laid off from it because of the pandemic. Struggled a little bit while trying to find a new job and then landed on a really cool opportunity, moved out for the first time, living on my own in the industry that I've always wanted to work in. And that was really exciting. And during the summer, because I didn't have a job, I actually got to spend more time with family, which was really nice.
That's always really nice.
It ended up working out. And, near the end of the year, I feel like I've challenged myself in my role. And there's been some tough moments as far as overcoming some fears and just, going for it and trusting in myself. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for 2020. I'm excited for 2021. I really think it's going to be a great year for me and you. And as far as you go, I still think you're going to get proposed to on New Year's Eve. I've always thought that. And
it's not happening.
Yeah, I think it will happen this year. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if Ryan's right.
Well,
this will go up on the 30th. So check Katie's Instagram and Twitter on the 1st of January to see if you...
Don't check my Twitter because that doesno make any sense to begin with.
They may start reading into clues into your tweets.
Yeah. No, that's just not going to happen. I mean, I love my boyfriend and he's awesome, but he's not that kind of I'll do it where we went on our first date or
no,
he's just not like that. Not because he doesn't care. It's just not his style. I don't know. I would be way more shocked if it were to happen than not happen, just because he doesn't think New Year's Eve, what a romantic time. It's just, he just doesn't operate that way. And that's totally fine with me. I don't need it soon, but as long as I know that it's coming and we're on the same boat that way, then it can come when it comes. But yeah, sorry, I don't think it's happening on New Year's.
Okay, fair enough. And if it does, then we'll be happily surprised and we'll say, well, Ryan, you are
right again.
You're right again. Exactly. So I want to know, how was your 2020?
Yeah, I mean, my 2020 was same kind of situation as you. My first kind of real career job that I'm currently still working in, which is good, obviously. And I wasn't laid off because of the pandemic, but I was off because of the pandemic. So we started up production again in June. So I went back to work then. And yeah, we managed to do 6 movies in 7 months. That seven
Wow.
months is when we came back from the lockdown, because prior to that, we were still filming the Wedding Planners show. So we produced a lot of content. We made a lot of movies. So that was a very interesting year that way. I've been enjoying the break though, and I guess we'll see kind of what 2021 has to offer. And with lockdowns and restrictions, we were deemed essential like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. So that's good. But as we've seen with this pandemic, things can change like overnight. So just hoping that we can make a lot of movies next year.
Yeah, I hope so too. And, hopefully eventually with like a vaccine rollout, we'll hopefully all be able to finally take off the masks. But until then, got to keep wearing them, got to keep social distancing. But can you imagine when we get to finally like be back to work without like having to wear masks and
Sorry
get
to
to see?
break your heart, Ryan, but I think that's not going to happen for a couple years.
Really?
Oh, I think work masks are going to be a part of our future for a long time. And I also think that there's going to be a lot of people that won't go back. I mean, it all obviously depends on kind of how you feel about viruses and germs and
Yeah.
all of that. There are a few cultures that have been wearing masks for years. And I mean, you see masks in settings like hospitals and stuff, because it does prevent the spread of disease and germs. So there are going to definitely be people that, like, when that ban is lifted, they rip that mask off and they don't look back. And there
Yeah.
are going to be, I think, just different levels. Some people that go, okay, I probably won't wear the mask in a day-to-day situation, but the next time I'm on like public transport, or maybe
Yeah.
even the next time I'm at like a concert or a sports game, where you are in crowded areas. And then I think you're going to see certain people um, that just wear the mask when they are around people that aren't in their immediate household or bubble. And yeah, so you may be ripping it off, but I don't see that happening for, I would say, at least a year.
No, see, okay, yeah, I would agree a year. I think we'll go into 2022 without having to wear a mask everywhere. And I think by then concerts will be back. I think events will be back, but I think you'll have to prove that you're vaccinated. So I think that you'll still wear a mask if you're not vaccinated, or maybe if you have underlying health issues. But I think for people that are vaccinated, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but or a researcher or whatever, or a scientist, but I think, or a health expert. I'm not a lot of things, but I am
I
beautiful and
am sexy
talented
and
and
smart
sexy
and
and intelligent.
talented,
Yeah.
and
I
someone you
miss you
want to bring home to
finishing.
your parents.
Yeah, exactly. I miss you finishing my sentences. But that's what I think. I think that going into 2021, hopefully we'll be able to celebrate without having to wear masks.
Hopefully. And I mean, without getting into the whole debate of vaccinations, because that's not what this is about, but it will be interesting listening back in a year's time. But I think that the potential of people having to kind of expose whether they've been vaccinated or not is kind of really scary to think about, like how
Really?
much divide. Yeah, I think how much divide that could start making within society. I understand it. It will probably have to do with like travel restrictions and
Yeah.
places you can and can't
Concerts.
go. But to have to put out in the world whether you have been vaccinated or not can bring out a lot of divide. I think I get why it's necessary, but I just don't know if it's possible, because I'd like to know, okay, have you been vaccinated or not? Therefore, I'll know how close to come in contact with you and whatever. But I mean, there is already a divide when you talk about like people believe in vaccinations or politics and things like that. You know, people can stop friendships. It can become very hostile. Now, not only do you believe in them or not, it's whether you have done the right thing by society, as a lot of people feel, or not. So I don't know. I think that future could be a little bit scary, to be honest.
Interesting. I mean, I do think there's a bit of a divide, but I think the majority of people, I think, will support anything that basically can hopefully get us back to normal. I would
Yeah,
hope
and I hope
people,
you're right.
yeah, like at least if we get, I think they've said like the herd immunity with the vaccine or whatever, if they can get the right amount of people vaccinated, then I think that's the ideal, because there's always going to be people that don't want to do it or can't do it because of X, Y, and Z. But I hope that we can get the a good amount of people that are interested in it or that get it done, so that at least we can get back to normal. And then hopefully by then they'll have even more treatments for COVID, so that if someone gets it and they don't have the vaccine, maybe they can be treated for it like quicker. And I don't know,
Yeah.
but I just want to get back to quote unquote normal. I do think it's months away. I think even the summer there'll still be some sort of restrictions during the summer, but I hope that going into the new year next year, I hope that we're looking ahead to some normalcy again.
Well, let's definitely check back with this episode in, December 2021 and see
and
if
by
you're
then
right.
and by then you'll also be like, yeah, and also I'm proposed to, or I'm engaged. Sorry, that's the right word.
You are more into my proposal than me. I need to get on board with you.
Well, okay, give us an update on your relationship if you feel comfortable with it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Jeff and I have been dating now 2 years and a bit.
Wow.
He's awesome. I don't know. I don't know. He's great.
Oh,
He's at work right now. We spent Christmas. This was our third Christmas together. And yeah, just living life basically.
that's so exciting because I was listening. I know you had always said that 2 years is in like November, and I always thought it was like December or January. But I was listening to our one of our first episodes, and you were like talking about Jeff, and we recorded those I think in November or December. So at that point, even though they were released in January, at that point, it's true you were already seeing him when we started this podcast. When we actually I know we did some pilot episodes before, but like when we actually started recording for Is This Adulthood, you were seeing Jeff already.
I know.
It's amazing to see our progress, and I really think that you've blossomed uh, into adulthood, right? Like you're in this serious relationship, you live together, you have animals together, and you're working in an industry that you love. And it just seems like you're really happy. So I hope that you're proud of yourself.
Well, thank you, Ryan. It's like, Is This Adulthood featuring Ryan dash Dr. Phil dash I am going to feed you with compliments, baby.
Dude, it would be Dr. Durgy.
Dr. Durgy.
It's a pretty good ring to it, right?
Well, you're very complimentary toward your friends. So thank you.
And I mean it.
Yeah. Well, I think the same thing about you, which leads me to how's your love life going? I mean, it must still be so hard. We're still living in a pandemic and we're in a lockdown again. So, are you there?
Yeah.
What? Where'd you go?
I was just letting a moment of silence, like crickets.
It's like, did it pause out on me?
No, my love life is like not happening right now. I'm on some of the apps and I'm open-minded, but you're right. It's in the middle of the pandemic, so it's kind of been difficult, especially like knowing that I was going to go home and be with grandparents and family and all that. It's like I'm not going to be going on random dates before meeting up with them, and now we're in a lockdown. So
Yeah.
I shouldn't be meeting up with random people anyways. So it's like it's difficult to be dating right now. But Katie Jones, it did hit me recently. I'll admit it was tough because I'm noticing a trend of all the people that are close to me, even the ones that were like perpetually single like me. They're all getting in relationships, and it's like, oh well, I still don't have anyone, and I wanted a boyfriend for Christmas. Like not like under the tree. I wanted to be able to bring a boyfriend home for Christmas.
Under
And
the tree sounds kind of fun too, though.
it sounds kind of fun too, and it just didn't happen, and that's okay. Like I feel like there's other things that I'm focused on right now, and I do think when the timing's right, it will happen, and I will let you know. That's for sure.
Oh, I better be one of the first people that you call.
Oh,
It
of
will
course.
happen. I've probably said it on here before, but I believe it in my heart that when you are least expecting, that's when they tend to come into your life. Not always. Some people, they keep pushing for those Bumble dates and then finally one sticks.
Yeah.
But you just keep doing you, living your life, going to work, building relationships, networking, and you'll meet somebody that way. I think, anyways.
I agree with what you've said also about how when I meet the one, I do think that will be the one.
Yeah,
I don't think that I'm gonna be like playing games. I think the next one I'll be like, really looking forward to the future with them. And I hope they are too, right? Because if not, especially when I'm 28 years old, at this point in my life, it's like I do want to start thinking about that forever person. So
absolutely.
let's aim for that. Let's
Let's
aim and shoot for the stars.
Speaking of which, have there been any like big celebrity breakups that you've read about that you're shocked or like, oh my God, it's about time?
No, but I feel like you must have some if you're asking that.
No, I feel like you don't. I feel like you do, but I feel like you don't watch reality. Like I could never,
No, I do.
but
I
like,
totally
do you?
watch. Yeah, okay, so right now I'm watching Real Housewives of Orange County. I watched
Hey, have you watched Real Housewives of Potomac?
No, and I always see
Don't
it pop up.
sleep. Don't sleep on that one.
Really?
I heard about it. I mean, obviously I've seen it, but I heard about it from my favorite podcast, other than this one, of course.
Of course.
Shout out to the Breaking Beauty podcast. They're actually two Toronto-based women. But anyways, she had said that she was watching The Real Housewives of Potomac and Salt Lake City. So I thought I'd check them out. The Potomac one is fantastic, and there's 5 seasons, so it's like, yes, I now have something I can like continuously watch if I'm home. And then
Yeah.
Salt Lake City, it's the first season. It's fine. Maybe I'd like it more if I wasn't also watching another one, which is so embarrassing to say out loud and live and have these recorded. But I watch this much reality
No, I
Housewives.
love
But
it.
anyways, don't sleep on Potomac. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen that pop up a lot on not sponsored Hey You. I have Hey You, and so I watch. You probably do too. I watch the Housewives on there, so I
I
always
have
see
Hey
it
You
pop up.
because you showed me Hey You, remember? And then like I used your account once and it like logged you out of yours and you were so mad.
I
Like,
remember
what the
this.
hell?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know. And then you're like, you're gonna have to delete my information. I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just get my own. It's all good.
No, like I was fine with you going on it, but then all of a sudden, whenever you were on it, it would like log me out and wouldn't let me log back in with the password or something. So then I had to like reset the password, and then it
So
would happen
annoying.
again when you would log in, and I don't know. That was a mess. But yeah, I mean, I think I should start watching that once I have a moment to do it, like on the weekends or whatever. But I celebrity breakups. I'm trying to think like if there's any. I mean, with Teen Mom, you saw Sean and Jade, obviously. Like,
Yeah, but like, I mean,
oh, okay.
duh.
I mean, they're gonna get back together, right? Like, I mean,
You can
it's.
totally tell who's been on the show for a long time and who's been on it like recently in comparison to their homes.
Oh, Katie.
I'm not being horrible. I'm just saying you can tell that Jade has been a part of one season, and you can tell that Chelsea has been there from day one. She's like building a mansion in the middle of nowhere, and like Jade's house is falling apart.
Stop. Katie Jones, we could do a reality show podcast. That may be something in 2021 because I feel like it would be hilarious.
I feel like it would be hilarious. I also feel like there's hundreds of reality podcasts out there from actual reality stars, so people will listen. Like, I only listen to this one and Breaking Beauty. I don't really listen to anything else. And I listen to Breaking Beauty when I'm like on a walk because they're like 45 minutes and they go over like just beauty trends, new makeup, skincare. They talk to like experts in the field. So I find that interesting. But anyways, I did see that there was a new challenge podcast, and I know you watched the challenge, right?
Yeah.
With Tori and Anissa.
Yeah.
So, and then there's like Caitlin Bristow from The
Yeah.
Bachelorette. She does like a reality TV one. So, I mean, we could do one, but I don't think anyone's coming to us.
Wow. Way to have faith in us and our draw.
No, you're right. You're right.
So, anyways, before we get into our 2021 goals and resolutions, to end off that topic, I can't think of any big celebrity breakups right now off the top of my head. I mean, I saw Ariana's engagement. That was exciting.
To who?
But,
Like, who is this person?
his name is Dalton Gomez, I think. and
Hmm.
he is supposedly he's a dancer turned LA real estate like guru. Like supposedly he's like a big like real estate guy in Los Angeles, and they've kept their relationship pretty low key. And they're happy, and I think it seems, and I think the pandemic brought a lot of couples together. It either kind of broke you apart maybe, or it brought you together. Like they were probably spending way more time together than they would if she was on tour, or if she was recording new music or whatever. I mean, I'm sure she got to do that, but maybe it was from a home studio, right? So speaking to engagements, there's a TikTok that I saw recently where the guy was saying that he did like a stitch on TikTok with like another TikTok, and it showed like this guy buying like a $2,000 TV, and the girl filming it was, I guess, his girlfriend, and she was pissed because she's like, he bought a $2,000 TV instead of buying me a ring. And we've been together for X amount of years or whatever. And this guy comes on and he's like, listen, ladies, like if he after, I can't remember what he said. It was either like, was it 3 years or 4 years? He's like, if it's been 3 or 4 years and he still hasn't proposed, that's because he doesn't see himself spending the rest of his life with you. And he goes, I've heard plenty of people say, we got engaged after 7 years, me and my husband, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, how many arguments did that take? How many arguments did it take? So I want to get your opinion on that. Is that true? And aside from not being able to afford a ring, like I know some people in the comments were saying what they're saying is that like if he can afford a $2,000 TV, he can afford a ring kind of thing. So let's just say the person can afford the ring. So we can take that out of it. Do you think that, can't remember the exact number he said, but let's just say 4 years. Do you think if someone hasn't proposed after 4 years, that really means that they don't see themselves spending the rest of their lives with you? Rest of their
Um,
life?
I don't know. That's an interesting kind of question and debate. I think yes, and I also think no. I know that's kind of a lame answer, but obviously, just like anything, there's lots of different factors that make up a situation. I think that how old they are has something to do with it. If you're,
Yeah.
20 and you've been dating your partner since you're 16, that's four
Yeah.
years. Are you necessarily ready to get engaged? Probably not. You're still
Yeah.
kids. If you're, 32 and you've been dating your partner since you were 26, and you
Yeah.
express that is what you want, that is where you want your future to go, and they're not taking account of that, and then they're buying TVs on top of it, then
Yeah.
maybe that is something to address. Sometimes people have been together for a certain amount of years thinking they never want to get married or have kids, and then as they get older, and their mindsets change a bit, now all of a sudden they do want that, and maybe their other partner is going to take a little bit longer to get on board. Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden, I'll use a woman as an example. I just watched the movie Four Christmases on Netflix. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's my kind of comedy. But anyways, Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn are dating, and in the like 3 years that they've been dating, they both have always said they have no interest in getting married or
Oh,
having
I've
kids.
seen it. This
Yeah,
is older. It's
oh,
funny.
it's funny. Yeah, I don't know when it came out. I just saw it. I mean, obviously, it was predominant on Netflix because it's the Christmas season. But
Yeah, yeah.
anyways, and she just kind of said, like, now my mindset is changing, and maybe I do want those things, and it takes Vince Vaughn a bit of time to get on board. But yeah, so I think it all depends on the situation, of course. But like, if I was at the age that it would make sense, and I'd been with my partner long enough that also made sense, and I
Yeah.
expressed like, this is where I want my life to go. Like, either be honest with me and get out, or grow with me. But if I'm, let's just say 30 years old, telling my boyfriend I really want to get engaged and start this next chapter, and he's going off and buying lavish things that would cost a good amount of money
Yeah.
toward a ring, then yeah, maybe he isn't serious.
Interesting.
But I mean, I also knew a couple, they're engaged now. I think they were supposed to get married during this pandemic. I saw on Facebook, but obviously weddings have been canceled. But he didn't propose till like, I think 10 years into it or 9 years into it or something, because they like were high school sweethearts and whatever. And I think they'll be together forever at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's so circumstantial. But I think with anything, engagements or anything, if you have something that's important to you, and you're with somebody and you express that that's important to you, and they kind of ignore that, or they don't validate that or whatever, then yeah, I think that is something to look at and question.
Yeah, I agree with you because I think that there's high school sweethearts where, as much as they've been together forever, I think that that would be even more tough to get maybe to the proposal level because some people may disagree, but I would think that I didn't have a high school sweetheart, unfortunately, but I would think that maybe you would start questioning how you haven't really been with other people. And is this person I want to spend the rest of my life with when I haven't even been with other people? Like, this is all I know, right? So
Absolutely.
I think that that would be something that comes into play too. And then there's some people who are like, I've only been with this person, and that's because I love them and I'm in love with them and I want to spend the rest of my life with them. That's fine. So yeah, I agree. I agree. It depends on the point in your life. But I also agree with you where it's like if you've expressed that that's something that you want and he's buying lavish things and you've been together for a couple years and it still doesn't seem to be going down that route, then maybe you need to have that discussion on where do you see this going, right? Because for a lot of people, marriage is that end goal and being together and having kids and all that. Some people, it's not. So you got to make sure that you're aligned on that, I would think. And that gets me on the topic. I'm not sure if we've ever talked about this, but we maybe have, but I forgot. Do you want to have kids, Katie Jones? Not with me, but like.
Well, if it's not with you, then what is the point? Yeah, I want to have one, maybe two. I've never wanted like to have a big family, like with
Yeah,
multiple kids. I grew up as an only child, and so, and also I just find the world's a scary expensive place now. But
yeah,
yeah, I like to have one kid. I'm really close with my parents, and I'd love to experience that bond that like, especially being a girl and being so close with my mom. I'd love to know what that feels like. And but when the time is right, I don't need to do it anytime soon. I'm also not against it anytime soon. It's just kind of
yeah.
like when it happens, but make sure it happens when you're having conversations, like no whoopsies kind of thing.
Am I going to be Uncle Ryan, basically?
Of of course you will be. Will I be young Auntie Katie? I almost said Uncle
Yeah.
Katie.
I
The
was going to
coffee
say
isn't working.
Auntie Katie who likes to have a couple drinks.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, my niece in England calls me crazy Auntie Katie, and she sees me once a year. I'm like, how is this sticking? You're like four.
Crazy Auntie Katie. It kind of has a ring to it.
Yeah. Although
Oh my
there goes Aunt
gosh.
Katie with her wine again.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Can you imagine you at my wedding?
Oh my gosh, I'll be your best man or whatever. Who
Would
would be
you?
your best man if you got married tomorrow?
I feel like you've asked me this before.
Yeah,
You
yeah, because
always
I
throw
want to hear me.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Right?
Hey,
Like
how was your friend's
maybe it would be a
relationship that
female, maybe it would be a male, maybe it would be my brother, who knows who it would be, but I don't know.
how was your friend that met on Bumble during the pandemic?
Yeah, they're going strong. She's met his family and he's met her family and they spent Christmas together and it's going really well for them. And I'm happy for them, right? Like that was one of my friends where like she's been single for a little bit and I've been single for a while. So, we always would kind of bond over that and blah blah blah, but it was interesting because whenever she was on the apps, I was kind of taking a break, and whenever I was on the apps, she was kind of taking a break. So now that she's a boyfriend, I think it's my time for someone to come into my life and sweep me off my feet. But back to the wedding thing, I think that you being at my wedding, I think that I definitely would want you to give some kind of Katie Jones speech.
Oh, okay. I'll remember that for when you meet him and get engaged and have the wedding. I will give a speech.
Yeah, and I feel like you'll bring up embarrassing moments. I don't know if you'll bring up the fact that the first time basically you and I hung out with our class that you bit me or that you tried to bite me. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, I forgot about that.
We were all
Wow.
drinking and I was like, this girl's insane.
This
Like I was
girl.
like, oh my gosh, this is a bit much. And who knows, fast forward to a couple months later, it was really in radio that you and I ended up pairing up and doing our show. I mean, I guess we had done like some fixed TV stuff together,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well,
I
one
mean,
segment or two, but yeah.
and then I remember us like, I don't know if people want to hear this on the podcast, but like, we were really close and we were doing the episodes together, but then we would like, I think we've talked about this, sometimes we would get into these arguments and like be mad at each other.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
my
you
God,
would
we would
go,
fight all the time.
I know, but you would pair off with other people in the class and go get breakfast. Do you remember on our floor how there was like the staff lounge, but like we could go in and get
Yes, and
breakfast
we
there?
ate omelets every single morning, and I put on
Yeah.
like 40 pounds.
And it came with like the home fries and stuff. And you would go in there with your new buddy in the class, and because you're mad at me, and you'd come back together and eat breakfast together. And I would just be sitting there alone.
That's so petty. Oh, alone. You were like the biggest like social flirt. You were definitely not sitting alone. Probably would have
Social
been like on
flirt.
someone's lap.
What did you say? What did you say? What was I doing?
You're
Someone's
such a
lap?
you would probably just be on some like someone's lap or whatever because you're such a social flirt.
Stop.
Love like to chat with everybody and like make sure you're desired as a friend by everybody.
Oh, I
Sitting
love
there
you so
alone,
much.
like you're trying to paint this picture, just like poor old Ryan, like looking out the window as it rains. While his best friend chats with other people, laughing in your direction.
Oh my gosh, we had some good effing moments. Like,
Oh,
even I
yeah.
don't know, like, if who cares? People will like this or they'll tune out. But like, I just remember all those great moments, and even like you and I pitching an entertainment maybe it was just me. I don't know, but like pitching an entertainment segment for the TV news. Do you remember that? I think it was you and I.
I think it was. Yeah, because we did it with the story on like Justin Bieber and Drake, I think, and something else. And I'm pretty sure that one was our pitch.
Well, this because yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're saying like on the TV news, we did like an entertainment segment, right?
I know we started an entertainment segment on radio and an entertainment segment on TV. Two
Yeah,
things
and
that they had never done before.
yeah, and TV, they were very hesitant, and they even had to name it an arts segment instead of
Yeah.
entertainment. And we're like, okay, fine, name it whatever, but
Just let us do it.
just let us do it. And we did it. We would produce it, or we'd be on air, and then the other week maybe we'd be producing and the other person be on air, and then other people wanting to do it. And I'm proud of us. Do you know that?
Me too. We've come a long way. We're old now.
Don't say that.
No, I know.
We're
But
not too
okay,
old.
give me some New Year's resolutions. I always ask people, I said this at work not too long ago. So, like, what are your New Year's resolutions to somebody, or do you have any? And then they're like, then they kind of answer a couple. I'm like, how about you? I'm like, no, I don't really do them. Like, normally when you ask that kind of question, it's because you do them as well. But yeah, do you have any?
Well, I don't think I'm doing it in a formal way, maybe like other years, but I feel like there's definitely goals. I think that, I want to follow my heart, continue to follow my heart in the decisions that I make. I want to, once the gyms reopen, I do want to start going like 4 times a week, because since the pandemic started, I haven't been, other than once to my condo gym, I haven't been to the gym. And I've been trying to go for walks and do things like that, but I haven't been to an actual gym and like
What
done weights and like,
about just working out into a video?
I know. I just don't feel. I feel more motivated by going there and the
Oh,
social
me too.
element of
I
it.
don't like working out at home either.
Yeah. Okay. So you get it. You get it.
But
And I've heard
honestly,
of other people.
I'm sure you're aware of this, but the benefits you get from just walking are obviously, if you want to get like ripped shoulders and all of that muscular tone, then working out, free weights, gym, exercise equipment, that's all great. But in just terms of like losing weight and even like calf definition, an hour walk every day, I personally think my legs looked banging this summer in shorts. So, yeah, I mean, I think that I had awesome legs this summer. Looking back, I kind of was like, oh, I like my legs. And I thought, what did I do differently? Because I stopped working out, like, in terms of gyms when I got the job in production, just because we're on our feet so much. But anyways, I
Yeah.
thought, what have I done differently? Well, about 4 to 6 times a week, I would go on a walk. They were usually about 45 minutes if I walked just in the forest with my dad, or they were like an hour and a half if I walked like around my block. Sometimes I would walk 45 minutes to get to the forest to then walk 45 minutes with my dad. And it was much easier when you're transitioning from winter to spring because we all get like excited to be outdoors, even if it's technically not warm. But yeah, I wasn't running. I wasn't doing push-ups at home. I wasn't doing ab exercises, but I was just walking, and I could tell it made a difference. So if you're looking to just kind of get out and move, just walk around the beautiful city of Ottawa for an hour every day.
Yeah. And I do most days, at least half an hour every day. I try to get out there and walk, even if it's like cold, because it's just getting out there and moving. And so, yeah, I want to go to the gym. And I think also, follow my heart. And I think I got to trust in myself more and just trust that things are going to work out, you know, and try not to overthink, especially, sweating the small stuff and all that. And so, yeah, you can tell that they're more generalized goals this year because there's already so much going on. I don't know. I just don't. I who knows what's going to happen in 2021, right? And yeah, I think for me, it's like getting to a healthy weight that I feel comfortable with. Again, I don't have to be like ripped six pack, but like something where I look in the mirror and I feel sexy. And recently I've been looking in the mirror, after getting out of the shower or whatever. And I have been like, you know what? I think I look pretty good. Like, I think I've lost some weight definitely since like last winter and all that. So,
Oh, that's
you know, the,
awesome.
yeah, so there's been moments. I still think there's ways for me to go, but yeah, and I think that the next relationship that start going on dates with someone, I want the goal would be to just trust that if it's meant to be, it will work out, and try not to overthink things, try not to obsess over things or get too clingy, and just go with the flow. Those are my goals for 2021. And yes, they're not as specific. I know you're supposed to make them specific, but I'm happy with this because there's so much up in the air with the pandemic and going into a new year and me being in a new city and all of that I just want to feel comfortable with the goals, and those goals are what I'm comfortable with at this time.
Well, there you go. And you know what? Making attainable, realistic, and exciting goals is how you'll meet them. Saying, I need to lose 50 pounds in 3 weeks or something ridiculous, or
Yeah.
I need to save $80,000 this year, or just things that are like, never say never, everything is possible. But like
Mm-hmm.
when they become daunting and like very unachievable, then sometimes like you almost can stop altogether, or you're not enjoying reaching your goals, you're stressing out reaching
Exactly.
them.
Yeah.
Like I could easily say I'm going to put away this is whatever, but I'm going to put away $10 a week in a jar. Obviously as an adult you should be doing more than that, but if I say I'm going to put away $500 a week in a jar, well, that's not attainable. By the time that you pay all of your bills and everything, you don't have $500 to put in a jar. So then you're that much farther away the next week, so you have to make things,
Yeah.
hold yourself accountable, but don't make them so ridiculous that you're just not enjoying making them a reality.
Exactly. What are your goals for 2021, Katie Jones?
I don't know, probably just the same as they've kind of always been. I'm trying to really learn a bit more about investing
Yeah.
and saving. I'm not doing too much investing at the moment. I've sat with the same ones I got last year, just because of how uncertain everything is right now.
Yeah.
But just trying to have a little bit better understanding of money and saving and everything that way. Hopefully just get that much better with my job and continue to learn and be an asset to the company. And toward the end of the year, I was doing a lot of traveling, just like in the week, like northern towns. But so I was staying in a lot of hotels, which was very hard in the beginning for me because I'm such a homebody and I just like to be home with my boyfriend and my animals at night. So there was a lot of tears when there would be like goodbyes. But as like weeks went on, and again, I'd always come home for weekends, but as weeks went on, I got just like better at being able to be an adult and be a professional and just go to work and come home and enjoy my hotel room instead of being like, I wish I was home. Just enjoy the fact that I have privacy and a nice clean bed and all those things. And I think it ultimately made Jeff and I stronger. You know, they say distance makes the heart grow fonder, and I think it did. And, you know, he was proud of me and I was proud of myself, which I think can make a relationship better as well. So just long-winded answer, I guess, but just continue to be better and push forward and get better at my craft. And yeah, that's basically it. And make some money.
Yes. Cheers to making money.
Remember when we actually used to cheers?
Yeah, we actually used to drink on these things. Or
Yeah.
hey, remember when we actually used to be able to meet in person for these things? And
Yeah, remember when that was a thing?
yeah, and like eat all of the snacks and drink all of the wine. I mean,
Oh.
that was fun. Hey, we'll get back to it, I'm sure, in 2021. And I, you know, even you coming to visit Ottawa, that will have to happen in 2021 because there is an Eastside Mario's not too far from me. So just putting that out there.
Okay, well, I can't wait, and I look forward to seeing you. I guess when we're allowed to see each other.
I know, and I'd love to see you again. And it's interesting that you mentioned the finances thing because that is something that I want to focus on. Even I feel like I'm eating out too much. I'm ordering in too much. Like obviously I'm supporting local, but I also think that I have to, you know, be more mindful grocery shopping and getting things that will last me throughout the week rather than just getting snacks and then, okay, well, for dinner, I'm going to go grab this, you know? So I think that I would save so much money if I started doing that. And I think in 2021, I've got to focus more on, you know, I know how much my rent is every month, but my credit card bill can fluctuate. How do I get my credit card bill down so I can save more? You know,
Absolutely.
that is something that I want to do as well in 2021.
And when it comes to cooking and eating out and everything, it's such a skill to learn how to cook. I mean, not even in the sense of knowing how to cook every different type of like protein or even cook like massive meals if you were to have people over. Just the essentials of cooking for yourself, because that's something that's never going away. You know, like
Yeah,
no matter how successful you are or how much
that's true.
technology changes or how many variants of coronavirus we're faced with, we still need to eat. So learning how to make your favorite meals, like I've been craving pad see ew, or we're like beef ho fun, like thick, wide noodles with beef. So I'm going to go out and get those ingredients today and I'm going to make it because
Ooh.
instead of just ordering it from Chinese, which I do sometimes as well, but knowing that, okay, I haven't ordered out in like a while or whatever it is, and I really don't want to make this. I really want the experts, as you can say, to make it for me.
Yeah.
Then you treat yourself. But if you're just always ordering it and paying somebody else to do it, you could have the amount of ingredients that one thing of pad see ew costs you to
Yeah.
make like 6. So just like
Yeah.
learning the basics of, yeah, sometimes I'm going to order that and sometimes I'm going to make that because it's so good to know how to cook.
I like that mindset, Katie Jones.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, this has been really nice catching up with you. I know you want to go. I was about to say your hunky husband. I know you want to go see your hunky boyfriend and hang out with him today on your day off. And so I'm going to let you get to it. And I will go to the grocery store.
Love it. Love
So
it.
that's my, you get to go hang out with your hunky boyfriend and I get to
My
go to the
hunky
grocery store.
boyfriend is working, so I am going to go to the grocery store too and
Oh,
it's Monday, right?
yeah.
So he's working, but that's okay. I'm going to go to the grocery store, get some things, especially for this dish, and then I'm going to go on a walk with or without my father, and yeah, that's going to be my day.
Well, I
And
hope you.
also, I'm supposed to socially distance walk with a friend, so yeah, lots to do. So I guess we better love and leave each other.
Well, I love you. And yes, we'll leave each other for now. And if anyone is interested, they can follow Is This Adulthood at Is This Adulthood on Instagram. We're at ITA_podcast on Twitter. And my Instagram is at Ryan Durkee, RyanDurgy. Same on Twitter. And Katie Jones, I definitely think you should look into following.
My Instagram is KTEE Jones, and my Twitter is 01 Katie Jones.
I love you, Katie. Thanks again for joining me, and all the best in 2021. I can't believe it's 2021 already, or well, in the next few days. And it's crazy how fast this year has flown by, but I am excited and happy for our growth.
Me too, Ryan. You have a wonderful new year, and I will talk to you in 2021.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye. Thanks for listening.